Pew, 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 pew. He's back, the Mandalorian. Boom. Baby Yoda, Mando, they are back for season 2 of The Mandalorian, and I just finished watching it. I don't know why it dropped so late at night. I wish we could all watch it together. But hey, the schedule's for you to watch. So I don't know when you watched it or if you've watched it yet, so I'm not going to do spoilers in the beginning of this video. I will warn you when to tune out if you don't want any spoilers. You're safe here. If you want just sort of a broad, did you like it, etc., let me get to that. And then I'm going to break down some Easter eggs, my thoughts on the episode, as well as, well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but there is a sort of reveal that I want to discuss. But before I get to, so this is the opening shot. That's what I'll show you so far. Episode 9, it's called The Marshal. And it's not an immediate continuation, which was a little bit disappointing. After a year, I sort of wanted to see the next step of, coming out with the Darksaber, and I wanted to see what happens next, but clearly they're going to continue that later. This was a standalone Western-themed plot. And so it was fine. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was nice to see the characters back, but it felt a little underwhelming. It was definitely a lot of Easter eggs and Star Wars mentions and things, I think, to please the hardcore fans, but overall, I worry this was a sign of repetition that could get tiresome. And I know it's only episode 9, but the Mandalorian going on a mission, meeting a person, solving their problem, moving on, is a trope of Westerns and old TV serials. And I would rather have a more narrative structure that's continuing from plot to plot, with an occasional sort of B storyline, but these are definitely more like, nope, today we're going on this mission. Oh, we're going this. And my biggest criticism is, I will say, they go back to Tatooine. It's like, come on, let's explore the universe. Why do we keep going back here? So I enjoyed it. Overall, I would say I enjoyed it, but I have some issues and I want to break them down, but I got to spoil that through that. But so let's get to that. I don't want to waste too much time non-talking. If you're watching this, you probably already saw the episode. All right, so spoiler warning. Let's get into the whole episode itself and what happened. So he starts off looking for, he wants to find other Mandalorians, as we know, it's just a weird idea, but I guess their underground network will bring him to the kind. They have this cool fight sequence with the Gamorrean guards that I liked. And I didn't know this was John Leguizamo, what's his name? This character here, I forgot his name. That was John Leguizamo voicing that character, which was pretty fun to see at the end of the credits. He's there. Obviously, this is just a sort of a fun sequence. We saw a lot of this in the trailer, so that made sense that they would sort of start with it and not want to reveal too much more. So a lot of what we saw in the trailer, there's also clearly an ice city we've yet to see. So they start with the scene, just to sort of give us a big action moment, which was fun. I liked this part of it. Started nice and strong. We get to see why Mando's badass, leaves him there to be eaten. And then we go back to Tatooine, and it's, oh, yay. It's her again. Amy Sedaris' character. Literally my least favorite episode from season 1. She's back. I just don't like this character. I like Amy Sedaris, but she feels like she doesn't belong. There's just something weird about her. I forget her name. I took some notes. I'm scrolling up on my notes. That's why I keep looking off. It's just, she's not someone I would have brought back, to be perfectly honest. And we were already there. So to come back immediately now, back to Tatooine and to the shop. And this was the first part, like, oh, great. Okay. And so she does more of her, cute. I got to watch the kid. And now he's okay with droids. And it was very family-friendly, sort of silly return. We then get to see him interact with some Tusken Raiders as he goes to look for a bounty hunter that the guy that we know, John Leguizamo's character, sort of directed him to. So we go to this off mining town. This was I wrote this one down because I wasn't familiar with it, but they go to Maz Pelgo. A forgotten Tatooine mining town, and that's where he runs into, asks for, is there someone like me? And then, sure enough, who walks in? Bum, 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 bum. Boba Fett. What? Oh, it's not Boba Fett. Who is that? Who is that in the shadow? But there it is. There's the armor. Boba Fett's back! Clearly not Boba Fett. Clearly, as spoilers had sort of already told us, this was Cobb Vanth, portrayed by Timothy Olyphant, which was, let's be honest, I liked seeing Timothy Olyphant back in a Western from Justified and Deadwood. Clearly, it's a genre he's strong at. But, even just seeing the armor again, I'm just like, yeah, Boba Fett's really overrated. I don't care. Why are we so hung up? Excuse me. Why are we so hung up on Boba Fett? Sorry, sinus. It was again, this was the big part. Like, oh, wow. And then we learn about Cobb. He just bought the armor from the Jawas. He takes his helmet off and clearly realizes he's not a Mandalorian, and allows for Timothy Olyphant to show his face. And they make the deal to kill my dragon and I'll give you my armor. Okay, great. Well, that's what we're clearly going to do for the next half hour is what they do. And then there just becomes a plot line of two warring towns agreeing to defeat a common enemy, which is a Western plot theme I've seen before. So all of this was a little, he tells his backstory of how he got the armor, and he's there just to protect the town. And look, this is just Star Wars Easter eggs. People who are Boba Fett fans, I'm like, oh my God, look, there's the armor. I didn't care. I didn't care to see the armor again. I didn't need to see the armor again. And in fact, seeing the armor again next to the Mandalorian's armor made me realize, wow, Boba Fett sucks. I have no interest in Boba Fett. Now, it seems like, oh, cool, Boba Fett's all done. They go on doing their mission. And just giving you sort of the recap, they go and do the mission, and they team up with the Tusken Raiders, which was an interesting idea. But again, like I said, it's the two warring towns. Tusken Raiders and Cobb and the villagers must unite against their common differences. It's really weird seeing Mando. I don't know how he learned that language. It's a really hard language to learn. The Tusken Raider language is intense. But there he is sort of talking about it. And there's like sort of back and forth with it once the villagers have to deal with it. And they're monsters. It felt like a little bit like South. They'll steal our jobs. It was a little bit of that, clearly. But hey, they can unite for a common enemy. They do. And they go after the, what was this called? I wrote it down. The crate dragon, which was like a tremor. I didn't realize the sand was like water in Tatooine and the mountains. And apparently this crate can just go through it because it's so big and strong. It just pushes through the sand and rocks like no problem. And am I the only one who had a problem with that? I just felt like, how is he doing that? But I guess it's like Tremors. I didn't ask the question then. But they're there to defeat the big dragon. And Cobb unites his town to team up with the Tusken Raiders. They go out to stop them. They have a silly scene where, don't drop the bomb. You don't know what you're doing, you idiot. Oh, it was an accident. And again, Bantha's carrying dynamite to go kill a dragon. So Mando and Cobb, who's wearing Boba Fett's armor, can destroy it. Look, that sums up the episode, right? It's just a action set pieces, fan service, and then a big showdown with the dragon that I wasn't engaged. And then suddenly he starts vomiting out acid like a xenomorph, killing a lot of the people. And then because they realize the plan doesn't make sense, because why wouldn't you put the charges in sooner? Because they need to stretch out the finale. They finally get to show off Boba Fett's jetpack does work. They zoom off and fight on the mountains and start shooting them as if that's going to make a difference. And then as another homage and joke to Boba Fett, Mando smashes his armor to sort of show the problems that jetpack had to save him. Baby Yoda's there. He doesn't really do anything. He's just sort of, again, watching, as often he does. Blah, 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 blah. They defeat the dragon, as expected. And that's the episode, pretty much. So then there's a couple other Easter eggs here. I had to look this up. I'll be perfectly honest. I didn't know. I was like, is that an egg? What the heck is that? But that, to get to what they are doing, that is, oh, sorry. It was right here. They pull out a pearl. Is what that is. That's actually an important thing because... I'm trying to. They pull out this pearl, trying to make sure you guys saw and understand because. Wait, hold on, it's coming. I don't want to show too much of this because they'll ding me. He gives the armor back, blah 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 blah, and then here it is. Whoa! They found it. So now, guys, this is the Crate Dragon Pearl, and when I looked up the Crate Dragon Pearl, I learned because I didn't know this that this is they're in the belly of the crate dragons, a species of large creatures, blah, 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 blah. And that these pearls are very rare and valuable, but bigger. They sometimes contain kyber crystals. So in theory, it says because the pearls were formed from kyber, they could be used in lightsabers. A lightsaber equipped with one of these pearls emitted a very powerful and destructive blade that emitted a howling sound when ignited. So, so this pearl that they pull out was a fun Easter egg for fans to be like, oh my God, it's a crate dragon pearl. They found it. So those of you who knew that probably were waiting for this to happen. But look, cool little stuff like that. But that's what the whole episode felt like. That we saw R5D4 came back, and then we saw obviously. Let's not bury the lead. The finale at the very end shows. Look, Tamora Morrison is watching from afar, and he's back. He has some Tusken Raider weapons, and it looked like a Mandalorian gun, or is it just two? It's just two Tusken Raider stuff. Yeah, that's not but there he is in the sunlight. What's he doing there, guys? Scarred and ready. Now, I did the math. I looked around. Boba Fett would be in his late 30s, and Tamora Morrison is 59. Now, for those of you who are like, who is this guy? If you're not a Star Wars fan, he was Jango Fett. He played Jango Fett in the prequels, and then he voiced Boba Fett in the special editions. And so while we've never actually seen Boba Fett, because Boba Fett was a clone of Jango Fett, it is assumed it would be played by him. Now, he's a little older, but I guess a Sarlacc pit does that to you. But that's what we're implying here. Is this Boba Fett? Is this another clone Mandalorian who's going to meet? We will see. Honestly, I kind of wish it's not Boba Fett. I'm going to say that. We got the Boba Fett armor. He's dead. Let him die. Boba Fett is overrated. I don't need more Boba Fett. There's nothing cool like, yeah, I'm Boba Fett. I'm the guy that just got eaten by a Sarlacc pit, and now I've been living in the desert without my helmet for a while. I don't need that. But there's something interesting about this. A lost clone who maybe was following. I don't know. Why is he there? There's a lot of conveniences going on in this episode. We're back to Tatooine. Of course, that's where the Mando is. And then, of course, there's armor. And then he's been following it. And then, of course, Tamora Morrison's there. There are a lot of things that need to be sort of explained moving forward. But this was the big reveal of who is he playing? Is it Boba Fett? Is it somebody else? And so that sort of sums up my whole feelings as well. Of just like, okay, cool. Could we see some other stuff now? I don't know. I wasn't, it didn't blow me away as much as I hoped it would. I enjoyed it. It's definitely better than a lot of other shows, but I do think this was a sign for me of like, these bridge episodes, they're never the ones that stick with me. The prison one was kind of fun. That one I liked, but there was nothing like specialness, and I don't need to go back to Tatooine. Enough Tatooine. Come on, Mandalorian. You're supposed to be like paving your own way. Can we go to a new part of the galaxy, some new planets we haven't seen yet? Let's embrace that stuff instead of keep going back to this desert. The desert is so boring to me. We're in Star Wars, and we're constantly going back to the desert. Look, we did it. Now move on. If you need to go there for a plot point, I guess. I don't know why you need to keep going back to there, but they do. I thought Tatooine was like supposed to be like, that's why they put Luke there, and Obi-Wan was staying there. Look, I don't know, but clearly it's important to the legacy of the fans and everything else. But here we are yet again in the desert. Overall, this one I would say it's like I give it a 6 out of 10. I still enjoyed it. It's not like it was a bad episode. I think the hype made me expect something a little bit more exciting and revealing. And while they gave us reveals, this wasn't like Yoda. Like one, we knew it was coming, but Baby Yoda was just one of those like, what? I've never seen this. Wait, and we didn't know, and it was just amazing surprises. So it's a bummer that obviously the upcoming characters and stuff have already started spoiling and leaking because the media does that, and then I do it because everyone else does it, and we have to talk about it because they put it out there, and it's an endless cycle. I wish they would just stop, and then we don't have to report on it until we see it. But anyway, so far so good. It was okay. They clearly are just getting out with it was interesting because this was written and directed by Jon Favreau. So I had a little bit more higher expectations of like, oh, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a big one. I was like, ooh, okay. And it was 54 minutes. It was a little longer. I was like, oh man, they're going for the big guns right early. Okay, let's bring it on. and then it was a little underwhelming for me. That said, underwhelming for The Mandalorian is still pretty damn fun. I'm just being a harsh critic. But did you share any same problems, or did the fan service and everything excite you enough? Let's get the conversation going down below of your thoughts on The Mandalorian, episode 9, first one of season 2. And I will be here reviewing these week to week as long as you guys watch them. So go engage, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that all notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back with more here on Popcorn Planet.